Scotty, beam me up.
Oh. Smash. Get over here.
It is pointless to resist.
Now create your own Terminator with the BioFlesh Regenerator.
I'm back! Yeah? Think again. Battle damage.
Add flesh compound.
Terminator created.
Terminator.
I'm back!
Hey! You still don't have a Sega CD? Huh? What are you waiting for? Nintendo to make one? You have seen the games, right? Wrong answer, man. Show 'em! Want to see more?
All right. Welcome to the Geek Den. We are here with Ivar, Igor, and Zeke, collectively known as 13, from Austin, Texas. Boys, welcome. We have been looking forward to this.
Oh yeah, it's an exciting one.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been listening to you guys like all week, and man, just to get pumped up for this, wow, it's been like memory lane all weekend, like all week long.
Dope. Hell yeah.
Sure. Like I've been telling people, it's kind of like all those 90 new metal bands, like early Slipknot without all the added bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I hear a lot of Corey Taylor. I hear a lot of like 36 Crazy Fists. I hear just about everything from that time frame.
Yeah, everything I loved about that era.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. I've been a longtime fan of that late 90s, early 2000s new metal sound.
Yeah.
Like my two favorite bands of all time are Korn and Slipknot. Back in high school, I just got like deep dived into basically as many as I could find: Static X, Coal Chamber, Mushroom Head, all over the fucking place.
Checking all the boxes for me, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Sure. Yeah, Mushroom Head, they're definitely one for me because I've met them a couple times. And they're hella nice. Super nice.
Yeah, I met a couple of the guys. I met Stitch one time and took a picture with him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, back in 2017, we actually opened for them. It was a tour, a tour package. It was Mushroom Head, Unsaid Fate, and Ventana, and like all three of those bands contain Mushroom Head members. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like one big Mushroom Head festival almost type of deal. And that was a lot of fun getting to play with them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They're a great live show.
Yeah.
I had the personal experience of seeing you guys live, but I'm sure one day I will, and blow my mind just like that.
we definitely do our best. I like to blow people's expectations out of the water because for one thing, we don't have a drummer. But we don't let that stop us from playing the show. So we get the drum section on a backtrack with, our industrial electronic type of layers as well. And we still kill it with just the three of us.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's like the old school way of doing it too. Like
yeah. Because we're super DIY. We don't have a label or anything like that. We just we just want to do what we do on our own terms.
Exactly. We get it.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it, too.
Sorry, I just want to thank. This has been bugging me while I've been listening to you guys. I'm a big fan of history. I'm a total history dork.
Yeah.
I love that you guys did it. Or maybe you didn't do it in Roman numerals and I'm just projecting on you. But what's the story behind the name of your band?
So I started the band in 2006 when I was in high school. I was just trying to, have a project where I had all these musical ideas and I wanted a project that was, strictly to get my ideas on paper. I went to, my dad took me when I was 15 to a place called the Winchester Mystery House. And the place is haunted. It's got ghosts.
Yeah.
But also it's like really weird and kind of out of this world. Like it's everything in that place is in amounts of 13. Like there's like this weird staircase that's like super tiny, like a leprechaun would be the right size to go up these stairs. But there's always like 13 stairs, and then you go down the hallway and there's like 13 doors in the hallway, and things like that. One of my favorite things about that place is there's a door on like the second or third floor. You open it and you just fall straight down. If you were to walk through it, you would fall down onto the ground like some Looney Tunes type of thing.
Yeah.
Funny. I thought the fact that everything was in 13s was very interesting and creepy and weird. And not to go back to talking about Mushroom Head, but I liked their album 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to it and I was thinking about that place, and that's when it hit me that like that's the perfect name for the band.
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, we've taken it and ran with it too, because like our goal right now is to release 13 albums, and it's going to be each year on October 13th. So we're about to hit our 5th album this year, 2021. When we hit, by the time we get to 2030, like that's when we're going to have all 13 albums out. And then after that's done, who knows what we decide to do after that. But that's the goal right now, 13 albums.
That's an awesome goal. Like,
thank you.
And that's an awesome story too. Like,
thank you.
For sure.
Yeah. We really just want to set out and do something that no other band has done before. Even if it is something as silly as just as what I just described, releasing 13 albums. But
yeah. It shows the creativity we're losing in music, like people just come up with stuff out of nowhere just because, and it's awesome to see creativity now. Like, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys just randomly showed up in my Facebook feed one day. And I was
Awesome.
Okay, I dig this.
Yeah, he came running to us with you guys, and I think all of us, like all 4 of us, fell in love at once. We were just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, for real. Like, I was so happy to hear something that I haven't heard in probably 20 years.
Yeah, it's definitely a lost art. It really is. Like,
eventually, new metal became stale.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're trying to do, is bring that back, because there's a market for it. People want to hear it. They just don't want to hear the same stuff that they've been hearing. And no one out there is really giving the demand. They're not supplying the demand right now for that new metal. And I think that's where we can really step in and kind of be a part of, of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. You guys are doing a hell of a job at that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that cover album blew my mind. Like,
which one?
The cover album.
Oh yeah.
That's our latest. We just released that pretty recently.
Yeah.
It was a long time in the making too, because I started planning a cover album back in like 2009, like before 13 came back, because originally I started it in 2006 when I was a teenager, and like after a couple years had to put it on hold because, you know, I found other projects that were just, you know, a little bit better at getting off the ground. But I always had 13 in my back pocket. And then I moved to Texas in 2013 with my metalcore band. But then in 2016, after that band broke up, I was like, you know, I've been holding on to this project 13 for a really long time. I want to make it my main focus now. So we've been doing that ever since.
It's
awesome.
I'm enjoying it for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not from the same area as these boys. I'm from Alberta. And when somebody says, hey, I have this band that you should listen to, 9 times out of 10, you end up, the next day you want to slap them in the face. That's not music, it's just toilet noises. And so I was like, oh, God. And so as soon as James sent it, I went on Spotify and I listened to 1979 first. And boom, when he was comparing it to the guys from that era, what I liked about you guys is, sure, you can hear the influences, but you're very distinct. And like even in the covers, like today, I can't remember the album I was listening to on the South Side today. The looks I was getting was awesome because I was just in my wheelhouse in the car, jamming like a crazy person.
Jamming
In the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But listening to 1979, yeah, I was a big fan of the song when it came out, but you guys owned it. And it felt a lot less like a cover song than I hear from other cover songs. And so I guess the question I have for you, and I took the longest way to get there.
No worries.
Are you guys, is that something you're trying to do, or is it just coming out as you do the albums?
It's a little of both, because like when I do cover songs, I like to I like to take something that is already great in its own thing and kind of like put our spin on it. And 1979, like that was probably the first cover song I ever decided I wanted to do. Because that song has been in, you know, a part of my life since I was an infant, basically. I think that album came out in like 95, 96, Melancholy and Infinite Sadness.
Yeah, 96, I believe.
Yeah. You know, my parents were constantly playing music in the house, a lot of like 80s alt pop, a lot of like, you know, goth rock and funk music, soul music, alt rock music, you know, a lot of great stuff from the 90s. We were also always watching MTV back when it was good. When I grew up and wanted to do metal, and I wanted to do that song because it's like, you know, what metal band is going to cover 1979 by Smashing Pumpkins? And
yeah, for sure.
Well, here we are now.
Yeah.
We are talking about it.
Yeah.
A great choice. I mean, I'm just about old enough to say that the song was born. Not quite, but it's been a big part of my life too. The Smashing Pumpkins was the first ever concert I ever got to go to. That exact tour, as a matter of fact.
Oh, nice.
And it's a super important song for me. That's why I picked that one to listen to, because if you guys could win me with that song, then I'd be all in. And I gotta look at that album now. It feels but I'll tell you the joke now. So I'm going back to university, and a teacher for an assignment said you have to listen to this song from the musical Hamilton. And I listened to it, and I'm a dork. I ended up watching the musical, and I went all in. My Spotify is all Hamilton. The guys know it's embarrassing. I can't even see it publicly.
Hey man, I thought it was good. I liked it.
Oh yeah, it was good, but he's like obsessed.
Hello, new best friend.
Just steal your fate, buddy.
There was just songs across all your albums. Like the order I was listening to was Crazy, The Tears, The Daddy Long Legs, Unalive. And what I like about it is that the songs don't, the ones on the same album don't sound the same, and you guys aren't circling back album to album. Like I really like the progression. And it was so hard not to love it.
Yeah.
I said that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's actually because like the the 13 albums thing, it's not just that we're gonna put out all those albums. It's that there is going to be a progression, and like the first 4 albums are very dialed in on that new metal aesthetic. But it's also each album is telling a piece of a long story. I don't know necessarily if what we're doing is it would be considered a concept album type of deal, but that's kind of the idea behind each one. Like if you were to put the 4 albums that we have in chronological order based on the events of the story, you would do Sick first, then The Blood on the Wall, then Asylum, then Impure, and it kind of came about that way just in the writing process. I realized like there was a bigger story being told, and I was like, I could take all this music and do like an MCU thing where there's this overarching plot line. And now that we're approaching album 5, that those first 4 albums are its own arc basically, and the next 2 albums are going to be a totally separate one. But it's going to be interesting because it's telling a much later part in the story, but one that is a little bit more focused on us in the band rather than characters outside of the band whose actions and decisions and struggles create the world that the band is from. So
that's awesome.
That's interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really digging it. I want to shoot back to the 90s for a second because I feel personally that the 90s, like maybe I'm a little biased because that's when I was in my formative years, but for me, that's the best decade for music.
Oh yeah,
by far, it's the best decade for everything, really. In all honesty, like even the 80s come close, but we ate it better.
I mean, I wasn't around for the 80s, but I know enough about history to know that a lot of fucking weird shit happened then.
Yeah, we didn't have it as great as everyone said. There was a lot of brown involved in the 80s, you know what I mean? Like it was a dreary time kind of. Everybody was spending money, but it wasn't. The 90s were just different. It was happier. It was kind of like everybody was finding themselves.
It was a time of peace too. Like war. Like after the Gulf War, like the 90s were pretty chill as far as like the military shit going on.
Yeah, like if you were angry, you could be angry for like your own reasons. The whole world wasn't angry at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, that's where metal came in for me. Like that's where that whole sound came in for me because I just related to it and the energy of it. You know, and you guys saved it because it was going somewhere real bad.
Well, thank you. I mean, I've been following where the metal scene has been going. And I kind of petered off a little bit in like 2019, 2020. Although 2020 I think was a better year, but like sometime in 2018, 2019 I realized that like a lot of the metal bands that were getting popular just weren't my thing, and I couldn't figure out why. I figured it was just because like I've heard so much different shit by that point that new things that would come out sounded like older things that came out, and I feel kind of shitty saying that because like a lot of people like about our sound is that we're so nostalgic, but like how many jazz bands do there need to be?
And there's a difference between like doing it and doing it right, you know what I mean? So like a lot of people are aiming for that sound, but they're just not hitting it. The
other thing is we got the show to back it up too. You can come see it perform, and we give you something to watch, something to entertain. You're not going to be standing still when we're playing.
Yeah.
It's like a heavier guar.
kind of. I mean, musically heavier. Our image isn't quite as extravagant.
Right. It's not as theatrical, but the energy is there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, you can sense that in every song that there is just a certain energy there, even live, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
So how did you guys get together as musicians? I mean, I feel like the way we're talking, I think I'm about a generation before you, so I'm a little bit old. And I'm Canadian, so I have no idea how guys would get together in Texas to form a metal band.
Yeah.
Well, so when I was bringing back 13 after I moved to Texas, I met with Igor and a friend of mine named Dylan Trent, and he plays guitar right now in a band called Aerith Dies. Dylan and I have been best friends our whole lives. We've jammed together. We've played in bands before. And when I was restarting 13, I was like, hey, I need your help to get this project off the ground. He's like, dude, totally. I mean, he practiced and played with the band for the 3 shows that we had back in the high school days. So he's been, you know, loosely a part of the band for a long time. And I talked with Igor, who, you know, at the time we were friends, but we'd never been bandmates before. And he was originally going to be the drummer and Dylan was going to be the guitarist. And, you know, Igor was still practicing drums, but he wasn't quite at the expertise level that I'm looking for in a drummer. And so I made a dumb move and told him, hey, I don't think you should be the drummer. I'm going to have Dylan do it. And I wish I had known that he was as sick of a guitar player as he is, because I would have just moved him there. But you know, he and the band split ways for a while. We did the Asylum album after we got our lineup, and in preparation for the Sick album release, everyone in the band left. There was a rift between me and Dylan, and it got better as the months passed. Now he and I are on best friend terms once again. But after everyone in the band left, Igor came in and he was like, hey, I want to play guitar for the band. And he came to practice, and he already knew the song before I showed him a single note of it. And I was like, dude, I fucked up by not keeping you. So, yeah.
You know, it is what it is on that one. But I mean, if it didn't go that way, we wouldn't be where we are.
Yeah, true. And then Igor, years later, after we had gone through a bass player and a couple drummers, and Igor was like, hey, I know this guy. He's not in a band. We could get him to play bass, and that's how we met Ivar. And it was cool because, like, yeah, he'd never played a show before the band. Neither had Igor, actually, now that I mention it. But when Ivar came in, you know, we were kind of like, he was on kind of like a probationary period. Like, he needed to learn all the material and get through his first show before he could officially become part of the band. And he took it very seriously. He honed his craft. He got focused on getting good at bass, which wasn't an instrument he was playing before this band. And now he's just as much, you know, part of the core of our sound as Igor and I are.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think we got a really tight brotherhood right now.
Well, that's very important in a band, and like, I've been in several, so I know if you don't play with everybody, it's not going to work out.
Yeah,
and I don't think Ivar was even like considering bass or anything until I threw it at him and was like, "Hey, you should do this."
That's awesome. He's just like, okay, and then do it.
Okay, but I'll do it real good, you know, and I'll master the craft.
So I was actually at work, and I was on my break, and I happened to see a video that Igor had shared on Facebook, and he never like post much on Facebook, and let alone when he does post, like I don't really see his post that much. At the time, I didn't really talk to him a whole lot. I had known him from way back. We had a band in high school that kind of didn't manage to work out. So we stopped talking for a while, and it was just like out of the blue, I saw him post a video about, oh, we're playing a show, a local in Austin, and I had seen many of my favorite bands play at that very same venue. And I was like, that's crazy that you are now in a band that's playing at that venue. I gotta check this shit out. And so I ended up going to the show on a Thursday night, and I had to go to work the next day. And I just happened to stay till the very end. I helped them unload the gear and everything. And I was like, why don't you have a bass player? And they're like, they kind of explained what just Zeke just said. And I was like, well, I can't promise you anything, but I'll do my best. And Colt had an extra, Igor had an extra bass on the side, and he let me borrow it. And I literally YouTube like Ultimate Guitar, whatever I had to do, and I was just doing my homework as much as I could on that. But if it wasn't for, Igor, like offering that, like, if it wasn't for them, I would not be playing bass. I just happened to say, yeah, I'll do it. And now look, I'm here now,
Yeah, that's awesome. These are crazy stories. Like, you never really get this deep into a band, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
you guys are like, you really are like a honed unit,
Yeah. It's like I said before, it's all about the DIY aspect of being in a band. Because like, we could be looking around for like labelship and management and stuff like that, and like they can provide a lot of connections, right? But at the end of the day, like we want to be responsible for our own art. We want to retain ownership of what we've created, and you could sign to a label and they could be like, oh, we won't step on your toes creatively, and then
they'll bullshit you the whole time.
What's that?
They'll bullshit you the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after a few successes, like a couple singles that you put out that do really well, and then they're like, okay, well, here's the thing you did in this single that really worked. Here's the thing that you did that didn't quite work. So we're, maybe adjust your songwriting to include this more and exclude this more.
Yeah, they like almost start to groom your sound.
Yeah, and that's not going to work for this band, because a lot of the art behind the music is coming from like what's going on in here, and I'm not a business person necessarily. Like I can't write art with the intention of like this is going to be the thing that makes all the money. It's like if I do that, then it's going to come out not that special, because there's so many bands that operate in that way, and it's like, yeah, they put out good sounding stuff and it makes a lot of money, but then it just becomes that and that alone,
Yeah.
And we don't want to play that way necessarily.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, because then every song starts to sound the same, and you need every song to hit differently.
Yeah.
You want every song to stand out, and to do that, you need to put your own creativity into it. And
I think back to an interview of Chris Fain when he was in Slipknot about the Iowa era of the band. And it was like there were people around them saying all this stuff like, Wait and Bleed did so well that all we need to do is just write 3 more of that, and then we're golden. And then just the weird icky feeling of realizing you're surrounded by people like that. They're going to push you in whichever direction is going to have the most return. And then they responded to that by being like, okay, well, the thing people really didn't seem to like was how fucking evil the sound is, or at least the people in like the gatekeepers in the mainstream and all that. So they dialed that shit to 100 and made one of the most brutal albums of all time, and blew everyone's expectations out of the water. You know?
Yeah, they did.
That album is holy shit.
Yeah,
definitely a cornerstone album because it just every song like hits you in a different way. It's got its heavy songs, and then it's got those songs that you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
But they captivate you because you're trying to figure out, but you never do.
Yeah, exactly. It's easily the angriest album I've ever heard in my life to this day.
Same.
I listen to shit like death metal and black metal and, you know, all the like the core genres. Like I've heard how heavy and brutal it can get, and I still feel like Iowa is reigning champion in that regard as far as the anger.
Yeah. Well, that's because you can feel everything. You know, the vocals are clear, but the sound hits like it wouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like the sound hits the heaviest in the world, but the vocalization really saves it in Iowa because you can feel what he's feeling. You know?
Yeah.
One thing I thought was interesting was how, because it's a Ross Robinson record, right? And he's all about like getting in your head and picking at your insecurities and you know, pushing you to the edge and getting that on tape. I think it was in Iowa, the song Iowa, where he basically it inspired Corey Taylor to like strip down completely naked and get in the studio and like cut himself and just have a fucking breakdown. You know, it came out sounding like the ravings of a psychopathic killer or some shit. And in 2 full takes of the song, they had it. They had the whole thing.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've heard that story, and every time I hear it, I have the same reaction. It's just absolutely insane to think that he through that.
Yep. So what else, like, besides, you know, the classic metal sound and like what goes on in here, because I know all about that, like what else inspires your music writing? Like, because I've heard like 1408, like that interlude and things like that, and it's insane.
Yeah. One of the things that definitely inspires me is because I listen to a lot of stuff that isn't metal. Like I was way into like the emo and screamo era back in the mid 2000s, and you know, I went on to be in a metalcore band, and you know, I got into all the variations of genres there, and I always wanted to incorporate a lot of those things into the bass nu metal-ish sound that we have. And also things like industrial and, you know, alt rock, like, you know, Smashing Pumpkins and stuff like that. I just want to combine all the things that I like into something that, you know, maybe sounds familiar, but is, you know, in its own way unique and different. Especially from the kind of things that people currently are doing.
Definitely that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely new and refreshing.
Yeah, something we definitely needed because, you know, I miss, like I said, everything about that era, but I think music is one of the things I miss the most about that era because it's when I found music, you know what I mean? Like,
back then it was about music and not necessarily about a product being sold.
Exactly.
I feel like most of the time music now that's being created is done so for that purpose, and I feel like that makes it just a little bit less special, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I feel like maybe we've become like, you know, it's not as differentiated as it was back in the day. Like, it's not as subculture. Like everything's acceptable now. So
everything's like squeaky clean and, you know, put together in a manner that will not offend everybody. And I'm not even speaking from a place of like, cancel culture, but just like, you know, like every band has to have the same drum samples and the same guitar tones, and, you know, same production methods every single time. And I'm just like, dude, I'll write and record this shit on a Line 6 Spider amp, and I'll dial it in a way to where you won't even fucking notice the difference.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll use drum samples that have been outdated since like 2010. I'll just fuck with it until it sounds so good that you don't notice.
Yeah.
You know? And a lot of our stuff is rough around the edges as far as the production goes, but that also comes from like the Ross Robinson era type of production, which I've been producing music for a long time. So, and he's been my biggest hero in that regard. Him and like Adam D, Joey Sturgis, a bunch of others. And, you know, I don't think it's too crazy to be having like a rougher type of production in the modern day and age. Like I've gotten comments from people that are like, you know, why do you do it this way when everyone else is doing it this other way? And it's like, that's exactly why, because everyone else is doing it.
That was great live.
Yeah.
I imagine it does. I can't.
Yeah.
Can't wait till I can catch a show. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
A long-term goal. Like, you guys have been added to my bucket list. And long, but I'll get to it.
Yeah, that's something that we put very top on our priorities, the experience of the music, you know, that you feel a certain type of way when we start playing, you know, when we take the stage, you know, that you're not gonna just be standing there bored looking, scrolling at your phone when we come on, you know. Like if you're looking at your phone, like why are you here? Like you know, go home, just chill on your couch, get comfortable, you know. Like we're here to have fun and have a good time, you know.
Yeah.
The only thing I use my phone for at a show.
Dangerous.
Do what, Matt?
If you were at one of their shows looking at your phone, no.
Oh.
That's a hazard.
No, why do you think I'm? No, I'm like Statler and Waldorf now, man. I'm up in the balcony. I'm chilling up there taking pictures.
Yep.
Floor, man. It's like
chilling up there taking pictures, heckling the band, laughing.
But I do it out of love.
Yeah. It's always out of love.
Always.
Yep.
It's the whole reason we even do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same with us.
Yeah. Like I accepted a long time ago that, you know, doing this for the sake of like, doing this specifically for the sake of making money and competing with other bands for an audience and, you know, doing everything for the clicks and the fame. It's going to be an uphill battle regardless of what I do. So I just excised it from my goals. It was like, look, I'm writing the music that I want you to hear from me. If you want to listen to it, you're more than welcome to. If you don't, I'm not going to stick around and beg you to. I'm just going to keep doing my thing, and whoever wants to be along for the ride, it's more than welcome to be there. But I'm not lying when I say there's a ticking clock, and when it finally counts down, don't come crying to me if you missed out, you know?
Yeah.
Because I've been inviting you the whole time.
Yep.
So
that's exactly our mentality with this show.
Yeah.
Like you said, if you want to watch, great. If you don't, great. We'll find our audience.
Yep. Either way, we'll be making waves, whether you're watching or not.
Exactly.
And we are making waves, and you guys are too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's insane.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Are you
for
guys
sure.
planning any tours with everything starting to lift with the restrictions and that, or are you playing local shows?
We got some shows in Houston and San Marcos next month on the 23rd and the 24th. We'll be playing at Acadia and then Ragnar's on the Compound.
Nice.
I like both of those places a lot. especially Ragnar's.
Yeah, Ragnar's dope.
I like them both.
Ragnar's on the compound is like a military boot camp that like was shut down, and then they turned it into like a bar, and it's like haunted with like skeletons and all sorts of like Halloween shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sweet. Like Ragnar's? Like
Yeah,
Vikings?
you know, it's some Texas shit, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. All right.
Who exploded just then?
Did we have an animal explosion?
There's a rumble.
Yeah, the cat and dog are going to war over here.
Oh. Did my cat?
I get it.
A couple weeks ago, my cats got into it right behind me, and they both dug into my back. Right in the middle of the episode, you hear me going, "Son of a bitch!" Hey,
This motherfucker right here won't leave me alone.
yeah.
A few days ago, my cat was like jumping off the back of my couch and like clawing to my back and just hanging onto my back for a second and jumping off. Every time I turn around, she'd be back springing off the thing and back on my back, scared the shit out of me.
We have a cat that does that when we're trying to sleep. She'll jump from the nightstands and like bounce on our pillows in between them.
Nice.
And it scares the shit out of us every time.
I bet.
Because we're
Cats
both-
are nuts.
Cats can be bastards sometimes.
Oh,
Yep.
hell yeah.
But I mean,
That's
you know,
He's got just
Mine's not allowed in here. He's a bastard.
Yeah, Jeff with
Jeff with 2 PHs.
yep.
2 PHs. So is it
Yeah.
PPHH or is it PHPH?
PH.
Jeff.
Just
He's a
That's
gorgeous
hard to
cat.
say.
He's just
Like,
an
really.
asshole.
That's awesome.
I'd be an asshole too if that's how my name was spelled.
I changed it to that after I realized what an asshole he was.
Now he's got a vendetta.
I will say, because my wife and I have a new, well, he's 9 months old now. And this cat is ridiculous. He hates us, but he's so protective of the baby. He bathes the baby. Like when we bathe the baby, we actually do it. We're not animals. And then we take him out, and then the cat tries to do it again. Because he just doesn't believe in us at all.
You missed a spot.
But other than that, he's an asshole.
Like other cats, just like, listen, I'm taking over. I'm not the way you're doing the parenting thing. Not up to my standard, so I'm taking over.
He's like the guy in Captain Phillips. I'm the dad now.
He's like dragging the baby off. You can't do anything right.
Nice. Shut
I'd
up.
probably be better off for it, I won't lie.
So, one thing I want to ask: do you guys each come up with your mask designs?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So each one is unique to you guys.
Yeah, specifically to us.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So our preference and like I like to do leather work, so I wanted the leather mask. So that's why I got.
You notice you didn't go full face.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I like Viking shit. You know.
Yeah.
I got like, all sorts of like tattoo, Viking stuff. So I kind of wanted to go with like the Nordic look. That's why I went with Ivar as my stage name.
Of course. Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, more often than not on stage, I've been going without a mask for a little bit now and doing more of a clown makeup look and working the shapeshifter aspect of my character.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you're kind of evolving.
Yeah, like album 3, I had 3 faces, and in the story, I had like 3 minds going at the same time and couldn't control it. Then finally morphed into what I got going on here, and then it's working between this and the clown right now.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool too. Like he can change his look for whichever show. I typically just wear this. Like I don't see a reason to change my face a whole lot. But then like having that contrast with his shapeshifter thing, I'm talking from I'm talking from the perspective of like before Ivar joined the band, because for a while it was just me and Igor. Like when it was us two, we had kind of almost like a Jay and Silent Bob dynamic with how we contrasted, you know. But I think when Ivar came in, he really rounded out the overall look of the band, especially because his is a little more like a heavy duty type of metal look, and I've got like the creepy monster type of vibe, and then Igor is like just be whatever he wants to be.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. As far as my mask goes, like the scars and the stitches and all that stuff was kind of a concept that I used to draw in high school. I would draw like some eyes with the scars, and you know the smile with the stitches, and I tried drawing that on a blank white mask, and like it looked cool, but you know it wasn't like I wanted it to look a bit more realistic, like real life. So you know, one summer I just decided to make this mask specifically in preparation for a Slipknot concert, and I enjoyed wearing it so much, and you know, I felt, because I've always loved wearing masks and costumes and things like that, like my whole life. I used to dress up as, when I was a kid, I used to dress up as Link and like have a Zelda-ish adventure in my backyard with like swords and sticks and stuff. And you know, I always wanted a stage mask that I could sing through, and then, you know, I made this. I went to the Slipknot show, and I was like, no, this is it. This is the look of 13 now. Because even at that time, I was still writing 13 material, even though I wasn't, you know, this band wasn't like super active, and I was, you know, focused on other projects. Like I still was like coming up with like the idea of the band as it is now back in those days. And yeah, once I landed on this, I was like, that's it. This is the band now.
Yeah.
Just that experience alone was enough to be like, okay, this is where we're going with it.
Yeah. Exactly. I think Johannes Eckerstrom from Avatar, he has a similar story with his like circus ringleader makeup, because they were just like a Swedish metal band, and then for one album he did that makeup look, and it was like, no, this is staying, and then they ended up becoming like this whole like circus themed Swedish metal band that like they're easily one of the best live shows I've ever seen. Their music fucking goes hard, man. Like
yeah, they're one band that I really wish I could get to see live soon.
Yeah, man. You need to.
They're called Avatar.
Avatar, yeah.
All right. It sounds right up my alley. I've never heard of it, so that sounds awesome.
Oh yeah. I got to watch my friend's band open for them, and Vinnie Paul was there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was so fucking cool. That was the night Avatar really blew me away with their live show. Like the three best shows I've ever seen was I saw Korn and Mudvayne in 2006. I saw Slipknot for Knotfest 2012, and I saw Avatar that night, the where my friend played. Those right there, 3 best shows that I've ever seen in my life.
Why don't we go ahead and call a quick break? We got our buddy Joe coming here in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll be right back. We can go ahead and refill our drinks and have a smoke, do whatever we got to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, with Bum Rustlers, it's just like being in a wrestling ring. With Hulk Hogan and Rowdy Roddy Piper.
1, 2, 3, pin!
Wherever you are, it's like real wrestling action. With Junkyard Dog and Bullfrog. Bum Come wrestle anywhere with Hulk in the Iron Sheik.
Okay, kids, back to class.
Wrestle anywhere with wrestling superstars, Thumb Rustlers, new from LJN.
Foolish friends, Freddy Krueger is on your phone. Dial this number now. I've got some tales to tell. Freddy's favorite bedtime stories. Dead-time stories. All brand new, straight from my boiler room to your home. It's Freddy Krueger on your phone. So dial this number now if you dare. Tell him Freddy sent you.
$2 the first minute, 45 cents each additional minute. Children, get your parents' permission before you dial.
All right, welcome back. So, what do we want to get into? We got Joe here with us finally.
What's up?
We had some parenting
Hey,
to
fellas.
do.
Yeah.
Hello.
Children.
So,
yeah, I
what
think
are some of your boys' interests as far as geekdoms go? Movies, TV shows, foods, anything like that. What do we want to talk about here, boys?
Well, I'm a huge pro wrestling nerd. That's my big thing.
Yeah. One of us.
This conversation is going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit back and listen.
You'll know
I love the banter. The banter's awesome.
Yeah, no, I'd like recently I've just been listening to a lot of Jim Cornette go crazy on everybody because you know anything Jim Cornette says is going to be entertaining.
Oh, it's fucking gold. I love that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially with AEW right now, he's just been going off.
Yeah.
You could cut a promo too.
Yeah. Jim Cornette can talk.
Yep.
I haven't been able to watch AEW too much, but
I actually just got 2 tickets to go see Dynamite live when they come through here.
Oh, that's awesome.
I hear their live show is really good.
Oh yeah, I got to see them once before, and it was when Kenny Omega and Hangman Page were the tag champs, and they had a match with SCU, Christopher Daniels, and Kazarian. That was super great. A lot of inner circle stuff. That was really good when they were fighting the Elite. It was a really good time, and the fact that they filmed the dark matches there too for the next week is just a lot of great matches, and it's all fun and games. And at the show, there was actually a guy in the crowd dressed like Jesus, and a guy dressed like Scooby-Doo. And when the show ended, Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks actually brought in Scooby-Doo and Jesus to have a tag team match with Brandon Cutler and Dustin Rhodes.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, that is glorious.
Yeah, so Jesus officially has a win in AEW.
Nice.
Oh, you said Jesus and Scooby-Doo were there, but isn't that kind of redundant?
Yeah.
I got into wrestling around like you guys might be a bit too young for it, but the Attitude Era, late 90s.
Yeah.
My dad sat me in front of wrestling in like 2001. I started with some of the WCW stuff, but a lot of ECW.
Okay.
Yeah. I started probably around WrestleMania 3 is when I really started like watching it with my dad and that. That's when I really started getting into everything.
Hell yeah.
I remember watching Hulk Hogan and Mr. T.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Demolition.
The best event that I've gotten to go to as far as wrestling goes was I got to go to it was either WrestleMania 22 or 23. It was Edge versus Taker for the heavyweight championship, and it was the Ric Flair retirement match with Shawn Michaels.
WrestleMania 24 in Orlando.
24, yeah, Orlando. I got to be there. I was up in the nosebleeds, but
you were there.
I was there. They actually had an accident with the fireworks that nobody knows about. There's a whole row of fireworks that actually shot into the crowd next to the stage. People were scattering like crazy, but they just completely avoided that.
Cut it.
All right, go to camera 10. Go to camera 10.
What was that explosion? I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't. Aside from indie shows, like, and I'm talking like ground level indie shows. The last wrestling show I went to was in 2001 when I was like 13.
Damn.
That was when Chris Jericho beat Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw.
Oh yeah, when they had the whole referee nonsense where Triple H tried to get him to reverse it. Yeah. The only reason they did that was to get Jericho to stay, because Jericho was talking about leaving. So they're like, we'll put the title on you, but we got to immediately take it off.
But give you a taste of it.
Yeah.
I think the last live event I saw was maybe like 96. It was at Stabler Arena. It was like a day show. Remember when they used to just go on tour and they wouldn't film or anything? They'd just like be there. Yeah, it was one of those shows. That was the last one I went to.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That sounds like the last hockey game we went to.
I didn't show live, but I Stampede Wrestling used to tour Alberta when Stu Hart still had the territory.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of those shows because they'd play at like Town of 4,000 Hockey Arena or downtown Edmonton. Like they'd put on a wrestling show anywhere, and on one night you could see Andre the Giant or Brian Pillman or Bret Hart.
Oh yeah,
like, it was in and out.
Yeah.
Stampede always put on great shows when Stu was running it. It was one of the best territories back in the true outlaw days of independent wrestling.
Oh yeah, well, the part I saw, because I was just as Vince was just taking it over, really, and Stu was kind of getting out of it. That was when I started, so it was just at the beginning of WWF. But I got to see some pretty big names in like Barhead, Alberta.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It was pretty intense. I was just a little guy, but I mean, I didn't get to watch because there were no WrestleManias in Canada until the one in Toronto. I don't remember which one that was.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
Wasn't Warrior
Six.
and Hogan? 6.
Warrior and Hogan, yeah.
And then before that, it was the Odd Show, maybe, and it never came to Alberta because we're BFN up here. It's brutal.
But
I didn't really ever get into wrestling as a kid. And then back in like 2016, 17, I had a roommate who was way into wrestling, and he showed me clips of like Undertaker and my favorite wrestler is Kane. Because he's this brooding figure in a mask with a tragic past and backstory, and like, oh dude, I can totally relate to that,
Yeah.
Dude, okay. Yeah. Kane's character before he was Kane was the greatest thing ever. The evil dentist, Dr. Yankum.
Dr. Yankum, Dr. Isaac Yankum.
Deep cuts right there.
Before
the evil
just before.
Dr. Yankum, that's awesome.
Yep. Isaac Yankum DDS, but right after Isaac Yankum, he was Diesel for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yep. Fake Diesel, Diesel, and fake Razor. When
and honestly, if anybody could pull it off, it'd be Kane.
Yeah. That's
true.
But no, you just don't rehash that character.
You don't give somebody's gimmick to somebody else and expect it to work at all. I don't know what Vince or creative was even thinking when they decided to do that.
Unless they're under a mask and the styles that they have to the other guy were similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they even failed to do that when they tried to make Luke Gallows the new Kane around the time that Kane was trying to become an actor and do horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too short for one.
Yeah.
A good 3 inches too short. And it was noticeable on television. So they failed
it wasn't believable. It wasn't believable at all.
Yeah.
Nope. And
Yeah.
that was a weird time in wrestling for sure.
Yeah, it was.
It still
Yeah,
blows my
definitely.
mind that it still blows my mind that Kane ran for mayor.
He won.
Yeah, he is mayor.
He is mayor.
Yeah, he is mayor.
Yeah, for now.
Oh, he is.
Kane's the mayor.
So awesome that he
I
won.
forgot that. Yeah.
Kane's the mayor. Yep.
He's a mayor and he runs his own wrestling school at the same time. Respect to the guy.
And he still
Yes,
makes appearances on television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a committed motherfucker right there.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
He deserves
always
this place
wish
in the
that
Hall
his,
of Fame.
I always wish that his campaign video was him in the full costume, cutting a promo against the issues of Knox County, Tennessee.
Right.
You know who else ran for mayor and didn't get it, but I totally think should have?
Jerry Lawler.
Freaking Rhino.
Oh yeah,
That's right. That's right.
No,
Rhino
he
did run for mayor.
It was state rep.
Yeah, state rep. State rep.
Yeah.
He was running for
Yeah,
state rep.
I saw an interview he did with Chris Van Vliet where they were talking about if he did his campaign in the Rhino character, then he probably would have won. That was the only reason he failed.
Yep.
Yep.
He went straight. He went straight laced with it, and he shouldn't have. He should have been wearing the singlet and threatening to gore everybody.
Yep.
In fact, that's his whole campaign, just yelling gore, gore, gore.
Yeah.
You know,
just a picture of him looking all fancy, looking off in the distance. Gore, gore, gore.
Somewhere Al Gore is looking at that like, man, if only I had you on my campaign back in the day.
If only you could have wrote my book.
Oh, we just name dropped Al Gore. That's awesome.
well, you know he's a big fan of the Geek Dance.
Oh yeah,
he's
he
listening.
invented the internet. Of course, he's a big fan.
Yeah.
He invented the internet.
Read it on the internet. It's got to be true. This will be taught later.
All right. So, one of the subjects that was brought to my attention by you guys was 90s cartoons.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Big
What
fan.
kind of cartoons we talking? We talking Ren and Stimpy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
definitely.
Nicktoons are like Fox cartoons.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of Ren and Stimpy, man.
You watch what?
A lot of Ren and Stimpy. I actually gave my coworker the nickname of the Cinnamon Toast Man.
Powder Toast Man.
Powder Toast Man.
Back when I was in a screamo band, I wanted to name a song "Don't Whiz on the Electric Fence."
Fuck yeah.
Man. So you whizzed down the electric fence, didn't you?
Everybody's got like profound movie names, and here comes this, "Don't whiz on the electric fence."
Yeah. I did. That's why my face is all fucked up. You know.
Me too. Me too.
Definitely. Ren and Stimpy, Rugrats. Hey Arnold is a big favorite of mine. All the Cartoon
all the
Network
sauce,
stuff.
man.
Extra Lab, Courage, Coward, and Dog. Yeah.
Yeah,
Invader Zim.
Invaders in.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's one I never got into myself.
Yeah, same. But I always heard good things about it.
I'm a total goth, so I got way into it way quick. So
Yeah, I think Invader Zim is definitely for like a very direct fan base, because it came out when a lot of us were getting older. Like it was the end of the Nicktoons era, kind of. So
yeah,
it's a special taste for sure.
Yeah, but it's also part of this weird shift in the nature of children's programming, the kind of things that kids found funny at the time. Like the only other show, well, not the only other show, but the first one I think of that's kind of similar in that way is SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah,
like, it's not the exact type of humor of Invader Zim, but it's definitely from. They're both from a time where like humor was getting, quicker, wittier. I feel like kids, the it would have been harder to get kids into that type of humor before that time. So, you know, as the culture evolved, you know, kids got a little bit smarter. It was like the dawn of the everybody's got internet era. And
I remember spending a lot of time at my grandma's house watching Tom and Jerry.
The old school ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And Scrooge Squirrel and Droopy Dog. Oh yeah.
Those were like sick days. Was Cartoon Network because Nick Jr. sucked. So
yeah, like.
But you know what? One show I will give all the credit to in the world on Nick Jr. was Blue's Clues, because that show taught me so much shit that I
sure.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Yes.
Yeah, Courage was big.
Great. Dude, so much nightmare fuel.
Yeah, Courage was so awesome because like I was already so into horror movies, and like all those cartoons kind of faded out in the 90s, and then Courage came around and like brought it back.
Yeah.
And it's the only
brought
show
it back with a huge bang too. Like they did not hold back any punches.
No, they were scaring kids left and right and did not care at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Justice League too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Justice League.
Oh yeah, the Bruce
Yeah.
in the Bruce Timm Paul Dini style animation. Yes. Like almost the same type. Like Batman the animated series and the Superman series.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those shows were great. Teen Titans. Teen Titans.
Teen Titans is good. My kid was really into that when he was young.
Yeah.
The first one, original.
He lives with his biological father right now, but yeah, he was always watching that.
Yeah, the first one.
It got so good. The longer it went on, the way they developed the storyline in that show was just amazing. And I really wish that that final season would just get out there, you know?
Yeah.
I know how it officially would wrap up.
Yeah. I don't know how many times it's been around because I'm not up and up on DC, but is that the one where it's kind of goofy and there's a lot of comedy in there?
No, well, they had Teen Titans, the show, from back in like the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
I was in middle school at the time, and I loved that show. I thought it was really well done. But then years later, like long after we all became adults or graduated high school, they had Teen Titans Go.
Yeah,
and that's the current Teen Titans show, and that's the one that's like way too goofy. And I if I had kids, I probably would be like, why do you want to watch this instead of all these other shows that do this way better?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
My kid, he watched both of them actually. So he was completely unbiased. He liked both of them.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And I watched them with
anything
him.
with my favorite characters in it, even if it's horrible. Like I watched Affleck's Daredevil just because I love Daredevil. Affleck killed it. He sucked, but I like the movie.
Yeah, same.
What, Cat Dog?
Cat Dog.
Cat Dog. Yeah, Cat Dog.
Or Doug.
Yep.
I relate very well to the neighbor mouse.
Which one?
The mouse and Cat Dog.
Oh yeah.
Winslow.
He was always like, "What are you, nuts?"
Many a time I've walked into a room and heard a conversation, and just turn around and walk right back out.
And slam the door.
Yep.
Dude, one of my favorite episodes of that show was when they were trying to, because when Cat and Dog were sick of each other, so they wanted to get a third head, basically. And we're taking applications all over the place, and they ended up with like a bunch of different animals, and they had to all be strapped on top of them with a belt. And as soon as Winslow was done tying it down, he's like, "All right, cat, dog, pig, horse, gorilla, emu, you're all set."
Yeah.
Oh, that's glorious.
Yeah, dude.
Glorious. So, you guys compared like your albums and stuff to like the MCU. Like, what are some of your favorite MCU like movies or shows? Like, have you watched all of them?
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
I'm way behind actually. I still haven't seen Infinity War.
Oh, okay.
I'm a huge fan of Doctor Strange. I just like the way they did Strange.
Yeah.
Really like the way they did it.
Really killed Doctor
Such a
Strange.
good movie.
It's awesome.
Yeah. They took everything that Inception was trying to do and made it work.
Yeah.
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 That's a good analogy, dude.
Yeah. Christopher Nolan could learn a thing or two from him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep.
I liked the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, but I think out of all of them, The Dark Knight was like easily the best one, and the one with the least amount of shit to point out and be like, I don't know about that.
Right,
Excluding, of course, the Batman voice. That one will always be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he's gargling gravel when he talks.
Yeah.
You guys ever see the it's called Bad Man? It was like College Humor put out this 40-minute movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me and my wife binged like all of those movies, or not movies, all those sketches in one sitting. It was so funny.
Okay, I'm gonna make a note of that, Krager, and check it out.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's fucking great.
Well, one thing I liked about those sketches was when they brought in characters that weren't in the movies, but they were like reimagining them as you know, they were in Chris Nolan's Batverse or whatever.
Yeah, like the Riddler.
Yeah, he was just in like a Hawaiian shirt or something.
And then when he's beating up the different clown, that's not the guy.
he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Here, have a hand. And the guy's like, yeah.
Oh man.
Goodness great. My wife wanted me to mention this. Fallout Boy was on an episode of Teen Titans.
Oh,
were they?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I'm not sure which episode, but
yeah, I've never heard that before.
I am literally YouTubing that the second we get done with this.
I'm gonna show it to my wife because she's a huge Fallout Boy fan. She's into all the classic emo bands. So
I am too.
Yeah, no, I love the Fallout Boys.
No,
Fallout Boy. That's an obscure like sidekick reference from The Simpsons. That was Radioactive Band's sidekick.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. There's another band, Evergreen Terrace. They were like more hardcore. There's
Evergreen Terrace. They did their cover of Mad World was the shit.
Yeah, they were insane.
That whole album.
Yeah.
I don't know Evergreen Terrace super well, but I know that I think their singer was on a song for some band. I can't remember what they were called, but they have this one song that like reappears in my head and gets stuck there. Some post-hardcore emo band from like 2009. I can't remember what. Tonight is Glory. That's the name of the band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, the Evergreen Terrace, their cover album is really good. It's called Writer's Block.
Okay.
And I definitely recommend it.
I need to check it out.
Got some songs that you would not expect them to do.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you guys did.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, in more common way though, like you can definitely tell like what they're trying to do. You guys took it to another level, but kind of in the same.
100%.
Name another band who will cover CKY and put blast beats in it.
Seriously.
I love that cover. I told these guys, I was like, so their cover of 96 Quite Better Beings is absolutely bitchin'.
Yeah, it was.
And I even love like when you get to the part, there's a limit on the Taurus at the bottom of the lake. I love the way you just cut out the music in that part.
Yeah. I put like that church organ in there.
Yeah.
It just added a whole new vibe to the song that I didn't think was possible, and it made me fall in love with that song all over again.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Holy
yeah, we're especially proud of that one because like that wasn't even considered for the cover album until like close to it being done.
Oh, that's
like,
awesome.
And Igor and I like because I tend to write and record everything myself and then bring it to the guys later. But that one, Igor and I sat down and we were like, because he'll play that riff at practice like all the time. And
it's an addicting fucking riff. Like when you start, you can't stop.
It's always been one of them.
It is. Yeah.
It's such a fun fucking riff.
Yeah.
We sat down and worked really hard to like take that song and just ramp up the metal on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, bring it down to drop A instead of E standard and make it nice and low.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It hits you right there in the heart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Like
You guys killed it with the Static X cover of Cold.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. That's one of my favorites.
We actually have played that live once, and it was we played 2 shows. If you don't count our album release live stream, because there wasn't an audience there, we played 2 shows in all of 2020, and the first one was at the venue Texas Mist. It's the last time we've ever played there before it got closed down after the pandemic hit. And it was a big festival, and there were a fuck ton of people there. And then the guy who set up the festival had us play dead last. And by the time we got on stage, there were 4 people there, and it was like the first time in fucking years when we had a full lineup with guitar, bass, drums. We even had a hype man and some fog and some lights. Like we had the entire fucking stage set up. And we played in front of 4 people at like 1 a.m. And we walked away from that like, okay, well that turnout kind of sucked, but there's gonna be more.
Yeah.
Then we all know what happened after that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometime after all that craziness, the rest of the guys dipped out of the band. I think they were going a little stir crazy because we couldn't do any shows.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were thinking, why continue with this if we can't do anything with it?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of hope lost. Like last year, I think everybody reevaluated what they were doing. In all honesty, like in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. One of the big challenges of last year was still getting the album release show to happen.
Yeah.
But the guys leaving was kind of a blessing in disguise in a way, because then it was just down to me and Igor, and he learns really fast and I know all the material already. So it just got that much easier to prepare to play that album. The other thing about releasing the albums on October 13th is we always play the entire thing live. So like the release of the album is us ushering that entire this entire new chapter in, because I want to be able to say like every single album that we played each song on all of them at least once, and when to look back and see when that was.
Yeah,
it was the release show.
Because some bands they'll play like maybe in their early days they'll play an entire album, but and it's usually just the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
or their 10-year anniversary or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but you never hear every song from one album, like you said, unless it's like an anniversary or something like that. But you guys, every time the album comes out, you do that. Not every band does that. They'll just play select tracks from it.
Yeah.
Record an album and then never play like maybe 50% of it live.
Yeah.
Like ever.
And I've been told by some of the people that have interacted with us and with me, giving their opinion on what the band could be doing, and I've been told from certain people like, oh, you don't want to do that because people aren't going to be into it, and it's unconventional, and you can't possibly get every member of your band to learn how to play an entire album of songs in a year. Which, why?
I got something for them people. You're full of shit.
Yeah.
It really is.
We've done it like 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Fucking critics have no idea what you're talking about.
Yo.
Okay. Exactly. I try not to listen to people who, come at me with info like I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Once more, they don't know what I'm doing, and that's what's bothering them. I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. I'm a cook, so I can definitely relate to that. Like, I hate somebody telling me how to make something when they've never done it.
Yeah.
Like, a bitchy customer, for one. Don't order a medium rare steak if you don't want a half raw steak.
Exactly.
Which is the only way to serve a steak, by the way. You people ordering them well done are fucking out of your mind. Go eat a fucking shoe if you want to do that shit.
I've had to. So I'm not much of a cook, but I like cooking steak. I'm pretty good at that. I've had to cook one, like burnt entirely black, well done steak for my friend Dylan one time, and I still haven't forgiven him for making me do that.
No, fuck no, never. Don't ever do not. I have a shit list of customers, man. I ever see them again, I'm throwing a burnt steak at them.
And it'll hurt so hard.
Yeah. Another thing that kind of separates our band from other bands is that I make salsa and I sell it for the band too. I market Salsa Day 13. And
where can people buy that?
Yeah, dude. So I grill the peppers and the tomatoes on oak charcoal, and I let it smoke. So it's really smoky when you eat it, and it's not like a tip of the tongue hot. It's like it takes a second to hit you, and it's in the back of the throat.
It's awesome.
It kind of like creeps
kind
on
of an afterburn.
Yeah, it's an afterburn, but it's really smoky, like very chipotle. And Zeke can tell you he doesn't really like tomatoes at all. He doesn't like anything with
I don't either, but I'll eat some salsa.
But he'll eat this salsa, man. And I make it because I love to cook, and I made it exactly how I want to eat it. For example, when I go to a restaurant, like here in Texas, Mexican food is you could throw a dime and you're gonna hit a Mexican restaurant.
Right.
And so getting salsa is pretty easy and pretty cheap. Usually it's free. And when I go to a restaurant and sit down and I get a scoop of salsa, and if it's running like water off my chip, I'm not happy. I'm not a happy customer. So I like mine to be not chunky. I don't like chunky, but I don't want it to run off my chip.
No, you want it pretty thick.
Yeah.
Kind of like a pico de gallo almost.
Yeah, but a little more pure, a little more chopped up, like very, 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 very fine.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's really good, man. And so I can the jars, I boil them, and so we played a show with a couple guys on tour, a couple bands on tour, and they bought. I had 15 cans with me, and they bought me out because they don't have a refrigerator, and they can just open up one jar and eat it before it goes bad.
Yeah.
And the other ones, they can just have them, They don't go bad until you open them.
Yeah. Right. That's awesome.
And on top of his salsa, I also make soap. So we have salsa and soap and just random stuff that no other band would think carry.
Yeah.
What scents do you got there?
What do you want?
Currently we have I know we have Dragon's Blood, but we're also working on a scent called Molgoth.
Nice.
That's awesome.
The Molgoth, it literally smells like the inside of a Hot Topic, but it's black amber and lavender. It just is so great. So great.
Got anything with a patchouli base? That's one of my favorite smells.
We as far as like other soaps and stuff that I have just for my farm and shit, we have like different lavenders, aloes, tea tree, mixed berries, black raspberry, vanilla,
pink rose.
We have like peach, cinnamon, rose petals. We have about 25 different scents right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they're made out of goat milk, so they're really good for your skin.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, milk my goats myself.
So you're literally doing a farm to table setup there. That's awesome.
Yeah,
yes,
that's how we do it in Texas. It's very common. You know.
I love that.
It's kind of how we do it in PA too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We live on the edge, but we also know how to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Especially the part where we live, rural.
Yeah.
You never know what you put in your bullshit. You know, you buy it on a shelf and they put whatever they want in there.
Yep.
For the most part, in the grocery stores in our area, like, all the produce anyway is all like farm. It's from locally sourced farms.
Yeah.
At least they have that. You know, even Walmart. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that have farms in the area. So.
Yeah.
On the subject of merchandise that we offer, my wife, she's trying to start a business for making resin products. Like she'll buy molds for certain things and like pour the resin in, and you know, she's got a lot of good ideas. One thing that she's been working on is 13 grinders.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's already made a couple, and it's still in like proof of concept mode right now. She's working on
prototypes.
Yeah. But she also makes a lot of our other merchandise. She makes all of our shirts and our stickers and you know, all the other stuff that you would expect to see at a band merch table. Although the CDs, I still go through like CD Baby for those.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a good company.
Yeah. Although it's weird because in during the pandemic they totally cut out their online store. So if you sell your albums online through the CD Baby store, now you don't.
Right.
It made the last album release kind of difficult to capitalize on. Because of that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. End up having to like direct people to Amazon because they'll ship you the physical CD.
Yeah.
But like I don't like putting money in Bezos' pocket because it doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Now, is there anywhere that people can go to buy this stuff? Like, do you guys sell salsa and soaps and stuff online, or?
We're still working on getting an online storefront.
Yeah, you can message our Facebook page, and one of us will get back to you about it, and we'll find a way to ship it out and everything for you.
Oh, cool.
All right, cool.
It's made to order.
Right now, you're just roughing it as far as all that stuff.
So as far as the salsa goes, it's made to order. So I make 2 batches. I make a regular and I make like a habanero serrano one.
Okay.
Ooh.
So depending on like, you know, how hot you want to get, and the regular one has some heat, but it's like just enough to let you know it's there, but it's not a whole lot. And then I have the habanero one, which is pretty hot, but it's not good. It's not like dragon breath.
Yeah.
And
your face off.
If you do get it, if I do send you some, I highly recommend like when you're cooking with it. Like for example, I cooked some chicken and I had leftover chicken the next day, and I put some of that on the chicken and then put it in a cast iron skillet and kind of just turn the heat low. Just kind of like sauteed it in the salsa.
Yeah, you don't want to burn it. You just want it to.
Dude, it was really good. Or like on some eggs, like a breakfast taco.
Ooh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. So the thing with like shipping it is you got to buy like a decent quantity, like shipping like 1 or 2 cans. It costs a lot of money. So like, so for example, I have like an 8-ounce jar that I sell for like $7 usually. So you buy 1 jar for $7 and you spend like $15 in shipping.
Right.
So if you buy like 5 or 6 jars, whatever, then it kind of equals out being worth the shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I make it fresh. So if you message me, message the band, whatever, I'll see it. I get on the band messaging board. Yeah, if you message it, I'll see it, and then I'll make it and send it, and we can work out.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool.
You expecting a lot of messages?
I'm down, dude. I make it with love, dude. I make it because I want to.
Yeah. It's gonna taste delicious.
Yeah.
It does.
I do the same thing with beef jerky. Like I get wild with my creations on that. Like I start with a base recipe, but I take it a little far sometimes too.
Put a little spin on it.
That's how I wound up with my macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Adding until it was perfect.
Yep.
Famous mac and cheese. Always sunny.
I love my mac and cheese. Like eventually I'll be able to feed all of you guys.
Yes.
Until that day comes, I don't want to tease you with it. So we'll continue on with another food if we want to keep.
Hey man, as long as it's of a level of quality above craft, I'm sure I will.
Homeboy, I love craft dinner.
Oh, I do too.
I call it that in respect of our Canadian brother here.
We eat a lot of that.
You got that KD.
But I love that stuff, and I pimp that stuff out too. Like I'll add tuna and Old Bay to it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. So
I like to make taco roni. So throw seasoned ground beef in there with it. Oh, so good.
Oh, I'll pimp out some hamburger helper that way. Like taco mac. I'll add corn and taco seasoning, and if you want, I'll top green pepper. Oh, it's so good.
I like.
I'm a cook. I can cook by the box, but I will fuck it up.
Yeah.
Fuck it up my way.
Yep.
I like chopped sausage in my mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, tried that. Like Italian sausage?
Andouille.
Yeah. Or like chicken sausage, jalapeno sausage.
Okay.
You know,
Cool.
just a really good sausage.
Try some andouille sausage, man.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Bro, we need to sell sausage. Put that on the table, like, yo, you want a piece of the 13 sausage? Now that I think about it, we'll probably get canceled real quick for that. So.
Come get our sausage. Take that ad down.
Yeah.
We're on the subject of food right now, and it's getting me hungry, which reminds me, after we're done here, I get to eat some nachos made from Doritos.
Oh,
dude.
All right.
Cool Ranch or nacho cheese?
Regular nacho cheese.
Regular.
Okay. I'm not a fan of ranch.
Okay.
Especially ranch chips. It's just not but
for sure.
Not for me. But my wife likes them. My wife uses them. She says they're delicious, but I'll take her word for it.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is I'll make some taco meat, right? Put that on my chips, put some shredded Fiesta blend craft cheese. Plug.
Shameless plug.
I'll add some salsa and cheese dip. I'll just drizzle that over top, and I'll nuke it for a little bit, get that cheese nice and melted, and it's the best chips you'll ever eat in your life.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is all shit you can do at home, people.
I know what I'm trying.
Home, dude, I'm telling you, it's delicious.
You know what's been revolutionary for me? The air fryer.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are nice.
Air frying has changed my life. Yep.
I sear battered chicken one time. I didn't cook it in the air fryer. I cooked it in oil because you can't cook wet batter in an air fryer. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But a couple days later, I reheated that chicken, and it was perfect. Perfect crispiness. It was still nice and juicy chicken. And it was. I amaze myself sometimes.
You know what's funny is because back in like 2016, 2017, when I was living in a house with a bunch of roommates, and we used to try to do streams on Facebook or whatever of us like playing video games, and people would watch. Sometimes we would stream our band practices, because that was back when Dylan and I lived in the same house, and we'd do 13 practices and Aerith Dice practices. There was just always music happening in the house. Right. But easily the most popular stream we've ever done, we had a deep fryer, and one of our roommates was frying some chicken in there, and we just put the camera on the deep fryer, like close up, just zoomed in. All you see is just chicken frying. The most popular stream I have ever done.
You're doing a live stream, someone commented, "Bring back the chicken."
Yeah, exactly what happened. We started streaming video games again, and they were like, "But we want more chicken." Chicken on the screen. What are you doing?
Chicken.
You know, a live show, like instead of somebody yelling Skinner, they're like, "Where's the chicken?"
Sometimes I wonder if we'd get more popular if I would just get some chicken frying on the screen and just put music in the background.
Dude, we need to do that for the next music video. Just chicken frying with 13 in the background.
We'll have to figure out what song we'll do that for, especially because like a lot of the songs on the new album are pretty serious lyrically.
Right. Yeah.
So it'd have to be something that would juxtapose well with the chicken.
Something about slaughter. Yeah,
the first time that those words have ever been spoken in that sequence in the history of human events.
No, I was saying a song about slaughter. Like, that'd probably be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Songs could possibly do.
You got the song about Jeffrey Dahmer that might work.
You know what we might have to do is just perform in front of a green screen, but make the background the chicken.
There you go. Dude, there you go.
That could be like your stage show. You could be just like Guar. Instead of like killing people, you just come out and fry chicken. Who's ready?
We might have KFC version of Max Sabbath.
We might have. DFM.
There you go.
I forget what they're exactly.
Is it still KMFDM or is it MDMFDM?
They flip that.
Yeah, I know they flip it around all the damn time. And it's just like, I just want to go this way.
Always changing your shit.
Yep.
Just go one. Choose one path.
You ever notice that? Because one day I was driving and I drove by a Popeyes and I was like, you ever notice that you could pronounce it Pope Yes?
Pope
You just blew my mind.
Not affiliated with Church's Chicken.
Yes, we're talking from a Church's Chicken.
The Holy Wars.
Yeah.
Holy Chicken Wars.
Every restaurant is trying to have their signature chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not any different from the ones that had before, really.
They're all the same shit.
Yeah. Just put a pickle on it.
It's the super sandwich.
Then it was just a patty from Tyson.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. They were really hard to.
Dare
They
somebody
were
to call it that. That'd be awesome. Patty from Tyson's sandwich.
Yeah, they work really hard to like make the new chicken sandwich product look just slightly better quality of meat than the really sad one you can get off the value menu.
Yeah. Or it's like a more buttery looking bun. Like it's shades darker.
Yeah. But this bun
They actually included mayo on the other one.
You get 2 pieces of lettuce this time.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know what it is, but like the last few times I've eaten the Popeyes chicken sandwich, I immediately felt hungrier than before I ate it. Yeah, I don't know how that's possible. Yeah. It just zapped my energy from my body after I ate it.
Right. Yeah.
Does anyone else remember when KFC had a chicken sandwich where the bread was meat?
Yeah, there's 2 pieces of chicken with bacon and cheese.
Yeah, that was the KFC double meal.
Yeah. Top part of that paper sleeve.
Yeah.
Delicious. And I can see why they got rid of it.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic.
Yeah.
But aren't they doing some like instead of like for a chicken biscuit instead of a biscuit they're doing waffles covered in syrup now?
No, but that's awesome. I mean, I haven't, but like if they are, that's
maybe they are. I think maybe I have heard something like that. Yeah.
Because here in Pennsylvania, when you get chicken waffles, you get a waffle, like a Belgian waffle, with a scoop mashed potatoes, some chopped up chicken, and gravy on it, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking delicious. I love it.
Hell yeah.
But I've had the fried chicken and syrup version, and I like it too, just in a different way.
Yeah.
Like I would eat that with fried chicken.
Nice.
Like
Matt's giving us the look like maybe it's just Pennsylvania. Maybe we're just weird.
do a lot of things.
No, we have zero food culture here. Like chicken and waffles. What? That's not boiled potato.
The first time I'd ever even heard of chicken and waffles was in a Larry the Cable Guy movie, and I thought it was a joke. Like I thought it was like, oh, look at this wacky restaurant that has this type of meal that like, why would that ever make sense? But then I realized that there are places that serve that shit, and I was like, I gotta fucking try it. I tried it. It's one of the most delicious things I've ever had in my life. Chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's a surprise that you don't expect.
Yep.
Yeah, I had no idea. I had to see it in a shitty comedy movie to even be introduced to the concept of it.
He's still sitting there like,
that's the first time I ever heard of it too. Was in one of the Friday movies. It came up, and I was like, "That's a thing." And it just started popping up everywhere, and it's like, but in Canada, there's none. Well, not in Alberta anyway.
Yeah.
Chicken and waffles, I have to make it myself. That's brutal.
Yeah.
You're so deprived, Mage.
It's like, you know what? If we have chicken and waffles, it has to involve KD.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
Giving me ideas, bro. But
though, like you guys in Canada, you got poutine and Tim Hortons. I've only heard good things about that.
Well, poutine's pretty fantastic. Don't believe the internet. I've joined some poutine groups, and it's bad news. Don't do it. But for the most part, at least, if you go up here and say, "Hey, I want a poutine," it's pretty good. Pretty much it takes a real special person to mess up a poutine.
Yeah, like, remember that hamburger one you showed us? Oh,
So what the hell
like a
is
Big
that?
Mac?
Yeah.
There wasn't even fries in that. What? What?
Yeah, the Big Mac poutine. They
There's
just threw
fries,
sesame
you
seeds
can
on
barely
top.
see 'em. There's just all this fucking bullshit piled on top of them.
Yeah.
You smirch poutine by calling that. Then someone took ramen noodles with a craft slice on it and called it poutine.
Bro, I thought I was gonna die when I tried melting cheese onto ramen.
Was it that good?
It was weird. It was like it was because I don't think I cooked I don't think I got the noodles like entirely soft, so it was kind of crunchy, but also like the cheese on it was super melted and it was melting into the soup, and it was just weird.
It doesn't work that well.
Yeah, I can't really imagine that texture comparison there.
Yeah, no.
It's like ingesting adhesive almost.
Yeah.
As I've like been cooking throughout my life, I've fucked around with that, and the idea behind it is right. You want it to be kind of cheesy, right? But what you want to do is you want to get a base going. You want to make a roux, then do your broth, right, with this little flavor packet, separate from the noodles. Okay, you don't want to, and then you want to add that to your roux with your flour, and then you want to add the cheese little by little until it gets nice and melted all in there. Then add your noodles to it. Boom! I just saved your life, buddy. Just an idea.
To be fair, the cheesy ramen wasn't my idea. It was my friend's idea.
I know all about those bad ideas, believe me.
And that's what you got to do.
Yeah, we used to bounce back ideas for like struggle meals. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I'm one of those guys that I can open a cupboard and work with what I got.
Yep.
Like I've always had a knack for it. So doesn't matter if it's cheap. If I have to make it completely from scratch, I can do it. So nobody goes hungry in my house.
Yep. Same. I learned how to be kind of a mad scientist with what I got to make it work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's the best stuff too, because it's made straight from the heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shooting from the hip with it.
Yep.
Like ground beef, a can of corn, and like 2-3 cups of rice, and put a little salt and pepper on that, and like make it like a hash. That was like a struggle meal that I ate all the time when I like in my mid-20s, and I fucking loved it. I got the idea from my sister. Like that's something she makes fairly, like quite a bit for her and her husband.
Yeah.
And you can get fancy with it if you want. Throw a little taco seasoning in there or something. Or like I did brown gravy mix one time, and it was phenomenal.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Give it a try sometime. It's really good.
I'm going to.
I knew you would.
You just giving me ideas.
We're keep talking about food. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
Man, we really do
I think we should live stream a 13 cookout.
Dude, that would be rad.
I need to get Ivar a legit chef's hat.
I was about to say, you guys gotta have chef hats and everything, though.
Yeah, I'll be in the background making Swedish chef noises.
Bork, 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 bork. Derp and derp and derp and derp. Speaking of that, okay, for each one of y'all, who's your favorite Muppet and why?
Swedish chef. I don't need to explain.
Oh, fair enough.
I like Dracula.
Oh, the Count.
Yeah.
The Count.
The count.
Yeah. Same. I was all about the count. I don't know. I always found Bert and Ernie pretty entertaining too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm starting.
And there's good old Oscar.
Or Animal. Or Animal would be a good one.
I want Animal to be our drummer.
Dude, yeah.
No drum. No drum.
I always liked the Fraggles. I always thought they were really
Oh yeah, Fraggle Rock.
And they had the bitch in his fucking theme song.
I always thought it was cool that their deity was like a pile of leaves that would come alive.
Yeah.
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 They had those little guys in there that built the towers and they
The
always-
doozers.
Yeah,
The doozers.
They get needed. They were bullies.
Get out of the way, Fraggle.
Yeah. I got my nickname from that show. I was Traveling Matt for a long time.
Yeah.
There used to be a band in State College, Pennsylvania called Uncle Traveling Matt.
That's awesome.
Nice.
They were really good too. They were like a nice blend of punk and metal.
Yeah.
They kind of faded before the Spotify era. Otherwise, I would share their shit. But
yeah,
I don't know what happened to the CD that I used to have by them. It disappeared years ago and made me sad panda.
Oh, that sucks.
That's a sad panda.
Yeah.
You know, back again on the subject of 90s cartoons, but I used to watch Muppet Babies a lot.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they fucked it up now.
Yeah, they did.
I haven't seen the new one. I'm a little scared too.
Don't.
Little girls love it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend's
You're gonna
2-year-old
you'll
loves
get
that
pissed.
shit.
You're gonna
My
get
friend's
pissed.
2-year-old.
Yep.
God
In exchange for that info, I'll warn you against the Powerpuff Girls reboot.
Oh yeah.
I'm a Pasadena on that.
Man.
No, man.
And I think Powerpuff Girls is probably easily one of the best cartoons of the 90s and 2000s.
Oh, hands down, dude.
For sure.
Yeah. And they went from that to like the same squeaky clean animation bullshit that you see in every other like Cartoon Network property that's popular now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
I think one of the last cartoons that Cartoon Network did that had that kind of like a little bit of an edge to it was like, I think it was from like the early 2010s. It was called was it the Misadventures of Flapjack or something like that? Does anybody remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Flapjack was a good show. That one
was a good show.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Like right on the tail end of that, like the wave receding back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everything just started sucking.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, a few gems out there, but
I remember watching a couple episodes of Flapjack and thinking like, oh, that's pretty good. I didn't get like super into it or anything. Reminded me a lot of like the SpongeBob type of humor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked a little bit of Adventure Time. Like I thought it was a really creative show, but I couldn't get. I had a roommate who like when he was living with us, he was still graduating high school, and me and the guys were like in our mid-20s and stuff, and he was like trying to show us this one particular episode of Adventure Time, and we were like, yeah, it's all right, and he's like, how did this not change your life in the way it changed mine? Bro, I could say the same shit to you about Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
Like,
that
shit.
Yeah.
The Pigeon Man episode, that shit made me cry.
Oh yeah, dude, Pigeon Man is that
Pigeon
one was
Man.
hard, dude.
Pigeon Man is Stoop Kid and
Yeah, Stoop Kid.
Stoop Kid never leaves a stoop.
Yeah.
And then the one with the turtle. That was another big one.
Lockjaw.
Lockjaw. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was rough.
His crazy grandma helping him break the fucking turtle out of the zoo.
Yeah, I love it. But how have we not talked about Ed, and Eddie?
Yeah.
Oh,
Seriously.
dude, I love
That's
that.
true.
I'm just gonna fire myself right now. that was a great show.
It was.
Dude,
That was a
Danny
cartoon.
Bonaducci's work, like Lupo the Butcher and everything, it was all fantastic. I love his work.
Ed Boys.
Yes.
Dude, freaking Rolf.
Oh my
Life
god.
has many doors, that voice. Fucking you can see on YouTube their interviews of some of the voice actors that played Ed, and Eddie, and they have some of the like they have like the sickest like early 2000s new metal aesthetic. Like they wear the baggy pants and have like the neck jewelry and shit, and they got the spiky haircuts and shit. And I'm like, wow, looking at these guys is like looking into a time portal.
Right. The thing that weirded me out about the voice actors and actresses on that show was the fact that the chick who played Sarah also played Kevin.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin and Sarah are the same voice actress.
Wow.
Okay. That's a new. Wow.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah. They got that raspiness to their voice that makes me wish that either of those two characters had fronted a punk band.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody watch Count Chicken?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. Ridiculous, bro.
And I am Weasel.
I am Weasel.
I am Baboon.
And then
you kind of bad habit of saying whoopsie.
And Two Stupid Dogs. Anybody remember that show?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then one time as a prank, they we want Danger Island, so they showed an old episode of Danger Island, the live action 60s show or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what is even happening right now? It wasn't until I got older to appreciate that kind of like, oh, okay, they're just fucking with us. All right.
You know what's a show that I just flashed back to out of nowhere is Freakazoid.
Freakazoid. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I only ever caught a couple episodes of that, but I liked what I saw.
Oh yeah.
Was it kind of like this?
Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All three of those were Spielberg shows.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Pinky and the Brain was so well thought out, because like the way they did the intro, like when they say one is a genius and one is insane, when they say one is a genius, they're on Pinky, and when they say one is insane, they're on Brain.
Yeah.
And every single time, Brain messes everything up, and it's usually Pinky that fixes it.
Yeah, that's true.
So Pinky's the genius. Brain's just nuts trying to get out.
I think he's just plain insightful. I mean,
Yep.
Would
you stop being so reckless, Brain?
He's just trying to enjoy his life.
Mm-hmm.
He knows there's no point in all of it, so just have fun while he can.
Yeah.
Hey, it's like punk rock or metal. Just have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know they did that Animaniacs reboot. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either.
It's good.
Yeah. I've watched.
Definitely give it. Form your own opinion of it, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm a stickler for reboots and shit. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I'm very critical of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I really enjoyed the Rocko's Modern Life reboot.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
That was so good.
That was amazing.
They had all the same voice actors, and like all the characters were exactly as I remember them.
Yeah.
It was almost like the gap between when the show was canceled and now like never happened.
That was a really solid cartoon, man.
Yeah, they nailed it.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite Nicktoon, in all honesty, because it was so like off the wall and stupid sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Rocco was a sex phone operator.
Remember that episode where Heifer was living in the Choky Chicken sign and all those like bugs moved in?
Dude, and Mrs. Bighead was definitely trying to fuck Rocco.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, she was putting that on Front Street, man.
Yeah.
100%.
And the funny thing is like Mrs. Bighead was like the local cougar too. Like everybody was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Mrs. Bighead."
Yeah.
She got that ass.
Never left the house either. He was always home when Mr. Bighead was at work at Conglamo.
Yep.
So you think she was just chilling on the couch? Fuck no.
No.
Fuck no.
He was busy with the milkman.
I mean, she was calling the phone sex line.
Yeah.
Rocco.
Yeah, she's Rocco's best fucking customer.
Oh man.
Yeah. I thought they one thing that the reboot did really well, I think, was in including the narrative about I forget what is Ralph when he transitioned to Rachel.
Yeah.
I thought they handled that very well.
I love that.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, because it wasn't like they did it without reason either. Like they added a pretty good storyline to doing it, and they didn't just do it to do it, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't like a Disney thing where it's like, oh, random clip of two gay characters kissing. Wow, we're so progressive. It was like they took it and they like, you know, made the story work with it.
Yep.
Yeah. They made it have a point.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they made it real because they showed both sides of it, like not accepting it and accepting it fully and being like, what does it matter? You know?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
he's Vader.
Yeah.
Well, I believe Ivar's got to jump off here, don't you, buddy?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you got a little stick to keep, but dude, it was nice to have you on here. It was really,
for sure.
We would love to.
I was actually about to chime in. I got to bounce off here in a second as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. We can. This is a good spot to end it, I believe. But we can hang out and chill out after we hit the stop button here.
Yep.
But we really appreciate you guys coming on and talking.
Yeah,
with
for
us.
sure. This episode was awesome.
This is awesome.
Thanks for having us.
We touched a lot of topics, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. You guys are amazing. Go ahead and let people know where they can find you guys' stuff and what you guys got coming up.
We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all those platforms. YouTube is probably the strongest one because you know, I post all of our music videos there. We're trying to do more live content on YouTube. That entirely hinges on if we can get to a place with good Wi-Fi signal, because where our practice room right now, the signal there is crap.
Right.
But yeah, it's youtube.com/13 Asylum, all one word, and it's in the Roman numerals, so XIII Asylum. We're at 13_unmetal on Twitter and Instagram, and I believe Facebook now too. And yeah, just follow us. We're constantly dropping content basically out of nowhere. Sometimes.
Pop up on Facebook.
Yeah, and you can expect something cool from us very soon. You know, July 4th, Independence Day, might see something cool. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
We're definitely looking forward to it. Well, boys, thank you, and
thank you.
You're welcome back anytime.
Yep.
Absolutely. Awesome.
We'd love to be back.
Thank you.
One last thing, we got the 2 shows in July 23rd and 24th at Acadia in Houston and Ragnar's on the Compound in San Marcos. And then after that, the only show we have left on the books is the album release show October 13th at Come and Take It Live in Austin.
Right on.
Yeah, we'll be playing all of album 5 in its entirety.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure we're all looking forward to that, and there's a lot of other people that are watching that are looking forward to that as well.
Yep.
Well, dude, we're gonna sign off here. This was a great episode.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And again,
Thanks,
anytime
guys.
you want to come back, just shoot us a message.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Always.
All right.
And we'll see you guys later.
Unmetal.
Yeah.
Meet the proud creators of new Post Waffle Crisp cereal. No rocking chairs or bingo parlors for these gals. No, sir. Just look at them go. Harnessing years of good old American waffle know-how. To make sure every scrumptious bite of Waffle Crisp cereal tastes just like Grandma's homemade waffles and syrup. And how? Introducing Post Waffle Crisp, a brand new cereal with old-fashioned values.
You'll love my Waffle Crisp.
It's Leo, the new kid. He's the fastest draw in town. I'm looking for some breakfast. Seen any? Appropriate location, partner. Hey, gracias, mi amigo.
Masterpieces. They must be priceless.
No, they're not. You get them when you buy a Burger King Kids Club meal. You get 6 Crayola crayons and a Kids Club coloring book.
Well, it's lovely art.
Thanks, but my name's not Art.